They smile in your face, but behind your back, they secretly despise you. They act like your friend, but deep down, they want to see you fail. How do you spot a fake ally before they betray you? Let's expose the signs before it's too late. You think they're on your side, your friend, your family, someone who genuinely cares about you. But what if they don't? What if, behind the smiles and friendly words, they secretly despise you? They won't say it outright, but their actions will always expose the truth. If you've ever felt like something was off in a close relationship, but couldn't quite put your finger on it, this video is for you. Here are the clear, undeniable signs that someone close to you secretly hates you. Pay attention, because the sooner you spot them, the sooner you can protect yourself. By the way, if you've been getting value from these videos, consider supporting me on Patreon for just $10. Creating this content takes time, effort, and deep research, and your support helps keep these videos coming. But it's not just about keeping the channel alive. With just $10, you get direct one-on-one access to me, where we can talk, discuss insights, and dive deeper into these topics. Plus, I share exclusive, valuable content over there that you won't find anywhere else. If you want to support the channel and get extra value in return, join the Patreon community today. The link is in the description. See you there. Now, let's get into the points. 1. They give you fake support. Fake support is when someone pretends to encourage you, but their words lack sincerity. They say things like, "I hope it works out," instead of, "I know you'll make it." They smile, but there's no real warmth behind it. They nod when you talk about your dreams, but you can feel the indifference. Their support feels like empty words, a formality rather than genuine belief in you. Worse, fake supporters will subtly plant doubt in your mind. They won't outright tell you that you'll fail, but they'll phrase things in a way that makes you second-guess yourself. That's cool, but are you sure it's realistic? I mean, a lot of people try that and don't make it, but hey, good luck. If anyone could do it, I guess it'd be you. Maybe. It's passive-aggressive discouragement wrapped in politeness. Why should you not accept fake support? Because it's worse than open criticism. If someone openly doubts you, at least you know where they stand. But fake supporters mess with your mind. They make you question yourself in subtle ways, draining your confidence without you even realizing it. If you rely on their approval, you'll find yourself hesitating, doubting, and holding back from chasing your goals. They don't want you to succeed. They just want to appear supportive so they don't look like the bad guy. How to handle fake supporters. Trust the energy, not the words. Pay attention to how their support makes you feel. If it drains you rather than uplifts you, it's fake. Stop seeking validation from them. If someone's belief in you is conditional, it's not real support. Believe in yourself first. Call it out or cut it off. If you're feeling bold, you can say, "You don't seem excited about this. Do you not believe in me?" Watch their reaction. If they get defensive, you have your answer. If they act clueless, they know exactly what they're doing. A personal experience. I once had a friend who acted like my biggest supporter until I actually started making progress. At first, they would say things like, "That's amazing, you're really going for it." But as soon as I started getting real traction, their energy changed. Instead of celebrating my wins, they'd downplay them. When I hit a milestone, they'd respond with, "Oh, nice, but you still have a long way to go, right?" When I shared an achievement, they'd say, "I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but good for you, I guess." It took me a while to realize that they didn't want me to fail. But they didn't want me to succeed either. They wanted me to stay just below them, so they could always feel a little superior. So I stopped sharing my progress with them. I stopped expecting excitement or belief. And you know what? I thrived without their fake support dragging me down. A deep message. Some people don't hate you, but they hate the idea of you winning. They want you to do well, just not better than them. And that's not support. That's silent resentment. If you feel like someone's support is making you doubt yourself rather than pushing you forward, trust that feeling. The right people will celebrate you without hesitation. The wrong ones will clap, but only because they don't want to be seen as a hater. Listen closely, not to their words, but to the energy behind them. That will tell you everything you need to know. 2. You feel it in your gut. Your intuition is one of the most powerful tools you have, yet it's also the most ignored. That uneasy feeling in your stomach, that slight tension when they're around, that nagging voice in your head saying, something isn't right. That's not paranoia. That's your gut telling you the truth before your mind catches up. The problem is, we often dismiss it. We try to be rational. We tell ourselves, maybe I'm just imagining things. They've never done anything outright wrong. I'm overthinking this. They've been in my life for years. But your body reacts to energy before your brain analyzes it. When someone secretly hates you, their tone, micro-expressions, and subtle body language send signals that your subconscious picks up, even when they act friendly on the surface. If every interaction with them leaves you drained, uneasy, or emotionally exhausted, that's your gut waving a red flag. But are you paying attention? Why should you trust your gut? Because it's working for you, not against you. Your gut is not some random paranoia generator. It's an ancient survival mechanism built to protect you. Think about it. If a lion was nearby, your body would sense the danger before your eyes even saw it. That same instinct applies to people. Your gut can detect the slightest inconsistencies in behavior, things that don't quite add up. And when you ignore it, you set yourself up for pain. If you constantly feel like something is off, but you can't quite explain why, that is a sign. Your body is reacting before your mind has enough proof to justify it. How to handle it. Stop gaslighting yourself. Instead of brushing off that discomfort with "I'm being too sensitive," ask yourself, why do I feel this way around them? Your emotions aren't random, they have a cause. Pay attention to their actions, not just their words. Do they say they care about you, but never show up when you need them? Do they act supportive but always leave you feeling insecure? Your gut isn't reacting to their words, it's reacting to the truth. Test your intuition. Share a small win and observe their reaction. Express vulnerability and see if they genuinely listen or subtly dismiss you. You don't need a dramatic moment to confirm what you already feel. Give yourself distance and analyze how you feel. If you cut back on interacting with them and suddenly feel lighter, freer, and more at peace, you have your answer. A personal experience. I once had a friend who was always nice, always smiled, always said the right things. On the surface, they seemed supportive, but every time I shared something personal, whether it was a success or a struggle, I felt this strange unease. At first, I ignored it. I thought they've never done anything to hurt me. But the more I paid attention, the more I realized their reactions were never quite right. When I succeeded, their congratulations felt forced, like an obligation rather than genuine happiness. When I struggled, their advice always had a hint of condescension. And every time I left a conversation with them, I felt off, like I had just exposed myself to someone who didn't truly want the best for me. One day, I overheard them making a subtle, mocking remark about me to someone else. That was the moment everything clicked. My gut had been screaming the truth all along. I just refused to listen. A deep message. Your intuition is your first line of defense. It doesn't need evidence, logic, or a clear reason to warn you. It just knows. People can fake kindness. They can fake support. They can fake friendship. But energy? Energy never lies. If your gut is telling you that someone secretly dislikes you, trust it. You don't need to wait for a betrayal. You don't need to catch them red-handed. You don't need to justify your feelings to anyone. Sometimes, the quiet discomfort in your soul is the only proof you'll ever get. And that proof is enough. 3. They mock your goals and ambitions. A person who secretly dislikes you will never genuinely support your ambitions. Instead, they'll disguise their negativity as jokes, harmless teasing, or even realistic advice. But if you pay close attention, their words don't come from a place of encouragement. They come from subtle jealousy, condescension, or a desire to see you stay where you are. It's that friend who laughs when you say you want to start a business and says, "Oh, please, do you really think you can pull that off?" It's that co-worker who smirks when you talk about self-improvement and says, "Look at you, Mr. Motivated. Let's see how long that lasts." It's that family member who hears your dream and immediately responds with, "You should be more realistic." These people don't mock you because your goals are unrealistic. They mock you because your ambition reminds them of their own lack of discipline. It makes them uncomfortable to see you dare to step beyond what they think is possible. Why should you never accept this? Because the words people say to you shape how you see yourself. If you constantly surround yourself with people who belittle your dreams, you'll start internalizing their doubts. You'll hear their voices in your head every time you try to take a risk. And over time, you'll begin to believe them. Mockery is never just a joke. It's a subtle way of planting doubt in your mind. And doubt is the #1 killer of ambition. No successful person got to where they are by listening to people who laughed at their dreams. The ones who make it are the ones who learn to shut out the noise and stay focused. How to handle it? Call it out. The next time someone mocks your ambition, challenge them. Say, "Why do you think that?" Or, "Do you really believe I can't do it?" Or, "Are you just saying that?" Watch how they respond. People who are genuinely supportive will clarify their words. Those who secretly dislike you will stumble, ignore their doubts and use it as fuel. Instead of letting their negativity sink in, flip it. Every time they laugh at you, remember, they are mocking from the sidelines while you are in the arena. Limit your exposure to them. If you constantly have to defend your dreams around someone, that's a sign. Real friends uplift you. If they can't, they shouldn't have a front row seat to your journey. Surround yourself with believers. The people you listen to determine the path you take. If you want to go far, surround yourself with those who see your potential, not those who want to keep you small. A personal experience. I once told a friend about my goal to start creating content, writing, making videos, and building something meaningful. They laughed, not in a happy for you way, but in a that's ridiculous way. They said, "You? A content creator? Good luck with that. No one's gonna care." At first, it stung. I questioned myself. What if they're right? What if I fail? But then I realized they weren't speaking from truth. They were speaking from their own fear. Fear of trying, fear of putting themselves out there, fear that if I succeeded, they would have to face their own excuses. So I stopped talking to them about my goals. I stopped seeking their validation, and I focused on my craft. Years later, that same person messaged me, "Hey, I see what you're doing. That's amazing. I wish I had started something too." That's when it hit me. Most people don't mock your dreams because they think you'll fail. They mock them because deep down, they're afraid you'll succeed. A deep message. The moment you decide to chase something greater, you'll notice two kinds of people: those who support and encourage you, those who belittle, mock, and plant doubt in your mind. Listen only to the first group. The second group, their words are a reflection of them, not you. Your dreams are valid, your goals are possible, and anyone who tries to make you feel otherwise is only revealing their own limitations, not yours. 4. They act differently around others. One of the clearest signs that someone secretly dislikes you is when their behavior shifts depending on who's around. When it's just the two of you, they might be cold, dismissive, or uninterested. But the moment others join in, they suddenly become friendly, charming, and even fake supportive. This is the person who barely acknowledges you in private, but puts on a show when there's an audience. The person who subtly ignores your ideas in one-on-one conversations, but suddenly agrees with them when others are listening. It's a classic manipulation tactic, designed to confuse you and protect their image. They don't respect you, but they also don't want to look like a bad person in front of others. So they switch masks depending on who's watching. Why should you never ignore this? Because inconsistency is a red flag. A person who truly values you won't treat you like an afterthought when no one is watching. They won't downplay your presence in private while pretending to be your best friend in public. People like this are dangerous because they create doubt. They make you question yourself. Am I imagining things? Maybe they actually like me and I'm just overthinking. Maybe I'm the problem. But here's the truth. People reveal who they really are when no one is watching. If their kindness only exists when there's an audience, it's not real, it's performance. And you should never beg for a role in someone's staged act. How to handle it? Observe their consistency. Do they treat you the same way regardless of the setting? If not, pay attention, test the waters. The next time they're being friendly in a group, casually bring up something they ignored when it was just you two. See how they react. If they stumble, downplay, or brush it off, they were never genuinely interested. Don't confront. Distance. People like this thrive on keeping you confused. The best move: withdraw your energy. Stop seeking their approval. The moment they realize you've seen through them, they'll either disappear or try harder to manipulate you. Surround yourself with people who are real, always. True friendships don't shift depending on the audience. They remain solid, whether it's just you two or an entire room. A personal experience. I once had a friend who acted differently depending on who was around. When it was just the two of us, they were distant, uninterested, and barely engaged in conversation. But the moment we were in a group, suddenly they were all smiles, cracking jokes, and treating me like we were best friends. At first I thought maybe I was being sensitive, but then I started noticing patterns. They would never text me back unless they needed something. They would dismiss my thoughts in private, but agree with them in public. And worst of all, when I wasn't around, they would talk behind my back. That's when I realized some people only keep you around to maintain their image. They don't value you, they value how you make them look. So I distanced myself, and guess what? They didn't even notice. That's when I knew I was never their friend. I was just part of their act. A deep message. People's true colors aren't shown when they're in public. They're revealed when there's no audience, no pressure, just you and them. A real friend, a real supporter, a real person won't treat you like an option when no one is watching. If their kindness depends on the crowd, it's not kindness, it's convenience, and you deserve better than that. 5. They're secretly happy when you fail. A real friend or close person should feel genuinely upset when you're struggling, but someone who secretly despises you, they won't show sympathy. Instead, they'll hide their satisfaction behind fake concern. Watch their reactions when you face setbacks. Do they give you a quick, robotic, "that sucks," but seem weirdly relaxed about it? Do they say, "I'm sorry to hear that," while struggling to hide a smirk? Or maybe they suddenly ghost you because they don't want to comfort you. They want to enjoy your downfall from a distance. Sometimes it's even more subtle. They won't celebrate your misfortune directly, but they'll drop little hints that they think you deserve it. They'll say things like, "Well, maybe this will humble you a little. I guess this was a learning experience, huh? Not gonna lie, I kinda saw that coming." These aren't words of support. They're veiled expressions of relief, because deep down they feel better about themselves when you're losing. Why should you never accept this? Because you should never keep people around who are rooting against you. These people feed off your failures. They feel inferior when you're winning and powerful when you're struggling. Think about it. How can you trust someone who secretly enjoys your suffering? They won't help you when you need it most. They won't push you to be better. In fact, they'll subtly encourage you to stay down. They'll act like they're giving you harsh truths, when, in reality, they just don't want you to rise above them. Real relationships should feel safe. If you have to second-guess whether someone is secretly enjoying your pain, that's your sign. It's time to let them go. How to handle it? Test their reaction. The next time you face a setback, observe their response. Do they show genuine concern, or do they seem too calm about it? See how they act when you recover. Do they celebrate your comeback, or do they seem bothered that you bounced back? Stop sharing your struggles with them. If you suspect they enjoy your failures, starve them of that pleasure. Keep your problems private and see how they react when they don't get updates. Surround yourself with people who truly want the best for you. Pay attention to those who support you through thick and thin, not just when it benefits them. A personal experience. I once had someone in my life who always seemed a little too at peace when I was struggling. When things were going well for me, they were distant, uninterested. But the moment I hit a rough patch, suddenly they were available, but not to help. Instead, they would say things like, "I mean, life isn't fair, but maybe this will teach you something. At least now you know how it feels to lose. Maybe this is a sign you should slow down." At first I thought they were just being honest, but over time I realized they liked seeing me fail. They weren't giving advice. They were masking their enjoyment behind fake wisdom. The final straw. When I bounced back and started winning again, they disappeared. That's when I knew they never wanted me to succeed in the first place. A deep message. If someone can't celebrate your victories, they have no place in your life. But if someone secretly enjoys your failures, they're a hidden enemy, not a friend. Pay attention to who's happy when you're down, because those are the same people who will never help you rise. 6. They never defend you. When someone close to you never speaks up for you, even when they know you're being treated unfairly, it's a major red flag. A true friend, family member, or partner should have your back. Not necessarily in a dramatic way, but at least in the moments that count. But when someone secretly resents you, they remain silent when you're under attack. They don't step in when someone insults you. They don't correct lies about you. And sometimes they even join in the criticism subtly, just to stay on the winning side of the situation. How it shows up. Your coworker spreads false rumors about you, and this person just listens without correcting them. In a group conversation, someone mocks you, and instead of standing up for you, they just laugh along or stay quiet. A family member puts you down, and instead of supporting you, they change the subject or act like it's not a big deal. Their silence isn't just a lack of courage, It's a deliberate choice. They are okay with people mistreating you because deep down, they don't respect you enough to defend you. Why you shouldn't ignore it. People who truly care about you will not remain silent when you're being disrespected. They don't need to start a fight, but they will at least correct falsehoods or show support in some way. When someone refuses to defend you time and time again, it means one of two things. They don't value you enough to protect your reputation. They actually agree with the negative things being said about you. Either way, their silence tells you everything you need to know about where they stand. Personal experience. I once had a friend who I thought was on my side, but every time someone made fun of me in a group setting, he would just laugh along or look away. One time, someone accused me of lying about an achievement, and instead of backing me up, knowing full well I was telling the truth, he just shrugged and said, "I don't know, maybe." That was the moment I realized he wasn't my friend. A real friend would have shut that down instantly. That day, I learned a powerful lesson. If someone refuses to stand up for you, they're already against you. How to handle it. Test their loyalty. The next time someone questions you unfairly, see if they step in or stay silent. Call it out. Ask them directly, "Why didn't you say anything when they said that about me?" Their response will tell you everything. Distance yourself. If someone refuses to defend you, they don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, they don't deserve to be close to you. Deep message. Loyalty is not measured by words, but by actions when it matters most. If someone claims to care about you but lets others tear you down in their presence, they don't actually care. Silence is complicity. If they won't defend you, they don't deserve you. 7. They sabotage you in small ways. When someone secretly resents you, they won't always attack you outright. Instead, they'll chip away at your success little by little in ways that seem almost accidental. These people act supportive on the surface, but subtly create obstacles for you, whether in your career, relationships, or personal growth. It's a silent war, and if you're not paying attention, you might not even realize they're working against you. How it shows up. They forget to pass along important information that would help you succeed. They give you bad advice while pretending to have your best interests at heart. They distract you from your goals, convincing you to skip workouts, procrastinate, or take unnecessary risks that set you back. They ruin opportunities for you by subtly influencing others' opinions. Oh, you're considering hiring them? Well, just make sure you know what you're getting into. They minimize your urgency, downplaying the importance of deadlines, responsibilities, or crucial decisions. They accidentally damage your work, losing files, messing up details, or failing to follow through when you depend on them. On the surface, these acts may seem like carelessness, forgetfulness, or even kindness. But when it happens over and over again, it's not an accident. It's a pattern of sabotage. Why you shouldn't accept it. These small acts of sabotage may not seem like a big deal at first, but over time, they slow you down, shake your confidence, and create unnecessary struggles. The worst part? If you call them out, they'll act innocent and make you feel like you're overreacting. People who sabotage you this way don't want to see you completely fail, they just don't want you to surpass them. They prefer you to stay one step behind so they can feel better about themselves. If you let it continue, it won't just affect your goals, it will destroy your self-belief. Personal experience. I once had a co-worker who pretended to be my friend. I trusted them, so I shared my ideas and progress openly. But I started noticing strange patterns. Files I had saved went missing. Small but crucial mistakes would appear in my reports, and clients I was supposed to meet were suddenly given to someone else. At first, I thought I was imagining things, But then I overheard them telling someone, "They're not as sharp as they seem. They always mess things up." That's when it hit me. They weren't just careless. They wanted me to fail. How to handle it? Track the patterns. If accidents keep happening around this person, take notes. Keeping a record will help you see if it's a coincidence or a strategy. Don't rely on them. Stop sharing important details or depending on them for anything crucial. Confront them indirectly. Instead of accusing them outright, say things like, "Hey, I noticed that important detail was missed again. Can you help me understand why?" Watch how they react. Guilty people will get defensive. Remove them from your inner circle. If someone is secretly working against you, they shouldn't have access to your plans or progress. Deep message. A snake in your circle is more dangerous than an enemy outside of it. People who sabotage you in small ways aren't making mistakes. They're making moves. The sooner you recognize it, the sooner you can take back control. At the end of the day, the biggest mistake you can make is ignoring the signs. People who secretly dislike you won't always be obvious about it. They won't scream it from the rooftops. They'll smile to your face while holding a knife behind their back. They'll laugh at your jokes, nod at your dreams, and then quietly celebrate your failures. The truth is, your gut is rarely wrong. If someone's energy feels off, if their words never quite match their actions, if you always feel drained or uneasy around them, trust that instinct. You don't need evidence. You don't need them to confess. You don't need a dramatic confrontation. You just need to stop giving them access to your life. Because here's the harsh reality. The people who secretly dislike you will never truly support you. They will never clap for you from the heart. They will never want you to surpass them. And the longer you keep them around, the more they will chip away at your confidence, your success, and even your peace of mind. So cut them off, not with hatred, not with anger, but with indifference. Distance is the best revenge. Let them stay in the shadows while you step fully into your light. Because in the end, your success will be the one thing they can never sabotage.